Hello, everyone. Uh-oh. Hello, everyone. I hope my mic is being. Yeah, it is. There goes my mic. Okay. I don't know if many people ever follow me on YouTube, but if they did, they see that I have many categories that I go into. One is, come on, people, let's get real. And discussions about rainbow, wisdom, others, first time cooking, things like that. Each and every one of my categories, except for a couple of them, are meant to be hilarious, top of storytelling. And that's basically what I am, a storyteller. Even from my t-shirt that I have, I like to tell stories. Inside my head plays out large scenario of things happening all the time. And the best way for me to tell a story is to play that devil's advocate. What if? Now, I've been publishing tales here and on Twitter, on Speaker. I got my own little podcast going. But the whole idea behind this is to tell a story. Now, I like to tell stories. I like to take the ideas that I have in my head and express them out in the way of tales. There's a lot of people that do this. You just don't recognize them. Sometimes you recognize them as singers and songwriters. People that write songs and stuff like that are singers. They're doing the same thing. They're telling a tale. Now you might recognize two right off the bat: Johnny Horton and Marty Robbins in the songs they tell. Like Johnny Horton, way up north to Alaska, which movie was made about it, and Marty Robbins, El Paso, which has been lots of country westerns kind of spun off of that little tale, but still, the storytelling. Even, and I want to call out the name, Selena Gomez, when she wrote the song, Who Says? She's telling a story. The story is, who says that you're not this and not that? It's up to you to decide. She's telling the story. Even Miley Cyrus, when she said, like a wrecking ball, or some of the modern day rappers and things like that that's going on, they're all telling a story. Well, I am too. But my story is a form of a narrator. Most of the time, I like to narrate what's going on within the scene. Kind of cast a picture. You can see what's going on around. Kind of look down like a magnifying glass into a bubble of things what's going on. I don't like to really get into the characters that much because to get into characters bring out certain type of personality, and I really don't like to do that. I don't like to do the personalities because then you get a deviation of my what I'm trying to tell in the story. I like to tell it straight as a narrative. Now, in the stories I've been telling, and I'm doing it on the byline of story time, I'm doing it in a gentle way. Even children can listen to it because I'm not using any derogatory terms or superlatives or anything like that into my story time telling. I'm just straight narrative, and it's meant to get people's attention. Now, I have a lot of stories inside my head that I like to tell. And let me give you an example of how story time really got started. Now, in the beginning, before there was modern entertainment, before there was Shakespeare or things on stage and stuff like that, people would gather around in their small village, small clans, or small groups, and come dusk, there would be one, maybe two people that would get up and express a tale of some kind. And these tales of some kind would be tales that was passed down from one generation to another. But the storyteller would be able to take these tales and change it around to something else, to where it's different characters, different people, or different things going on. You're going to see me do this when I tell the tale of Cinder Story. And when I tell a tale of Patriot, it's basically the same tale as others have told, but yet it's going to be in a different form, different way, different light to where you can understand it. I've already put out one of the books, Stop. Patriots. Stop. I've got several uh, chapters into this already, and I got quite a ways to go to finish it up. But like storytelling, it's like a different type of comedian. You got comedians that can tell a tale, like Minnie Pearl, Grandpa Jones, and all these tell a line and a joke and get it going out there. Um, Jay Leno would tell us a tale, kind of bring you into a punchline, stuff like that. Those type of comedians. There's some comedians that would be called a personal comedian. And what is a personal comedian? A personal comedian is someone that's standing right next to you and you're hearing a tale. And when hearing the tale from this guy, from this personal comedian, can take it and make you laugh. In other words, they're very quick with wit, coming up with one line, one word, or certain type of statements and stuff like that. Like I was with a bus driver one time watching this heavy set person uh, trying to rush across the street to beat a red light. And I leaned forward to the bus driver and said, I know that guy. His name is Damn You. They said, Damn You? I said, yeah, watch. Run, damn you, run, damn you. That was personal comedian. Of course, it made the bus driver laugh, and I did it at the expense of a heavy set person, which I shouldn't have done, but at the spur of the moment, with quick wit, quick mouth, that's what I did. It's called personal comedian. Once I can stand next to you, tell a joke, just like a personal magician. They like to go out into the crowd, bring somebody else out, and do a magic show centered around that one person to where it astonishes everybody around where you can do it. Like I watched this one with just disappearing paper ball. He took a paper napkin, rolled it up into a ball, got next to the person, and he says, now I want you to take and watch it. I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to everything that I'm doing. And when he did that, he let go of the paper ball. Everybody else around saw the paper ball fly off, but the person that he was talking to didn't see it. And when he opened his hand, the paper ball was gone. To them, the person magician had done that miraculous thing, made the paper ball disappear. Well, yeah, he did. You just didn't see how he did it. Well, storytelling is like these personal magicians and personal comedians. We tell a tale that's inside us, and that's the way it was to start with. Before there was a big movie theaters, little theaters, and all like that, there were just these personal people that could tell a tale. You know, it's been lost throughout the time. Because lots of people say, well, don't tell it to me, let me read it in a book. The book writing is a totally different skill, and it takes certain talent to do that, to write a book and tell a tale. But even from there, you got different styles and different techniques. All the way from that, Samuel Clemens or Jane M. Miles, Marion Zimmerman Bradley, and different people like this. Stephen King, yes, we know that. And there are different techniques. Even like that of Shakespeare with a totally different technique in writing. But they're not meant to be personal. They're meant to take and bring in the masses. Well, storyteller is meant to be personal. Anybody ever hear the tale of Burr Rabbit and Burr Fox? Those are personal stories. Uncle Remus is the one that told them. His residence was in Atlanta, Georgia. But he used to sit down and tell kids in the neighborhood these stories about Burr Rabbit and Burr Fox, and children, they just loved them. And there was a person in there that took and wrote down what Uncle Remus used to say and published them in a book called Burr Rabbit and Burr Fox. Elaborate drawing and things like that later, and everything came out. The same thing that you might find is Alice through the looking glass. Alice down the rabbit hole. They're all stories that started by a simple storyteller. They got written into a book, later on became something totally different. J.K. Rowling, you know, her Hogwarts and all these other wizardry things and Harry and all these things and Half Prince Blood and all like this. She took a long time to write those books, but before she wrote them, she started with a simple story in her head. She wasn't a book writer. She was a storyteller that learned how to put her tales in a book. And it took her a long time to do it, just like J.D. Moss took her a long time to tell it too. And like Terry Goodkind and uh, Truth Seeker and stuff like that. Mary Zimmerman Bradley and Mr. Babylon. The tale of King Arthur, totally different type of tale. They're told by the tale of Morgana and the way that Morgana would see it. But either way that you look at it, they're all storytellers. And that's what I am. I'm a storyteller. I know there's a lot of people out there that like to tell stories. If you like to tell stories and want to join me right now, this is a live broadcast. Come on, talk to me. I've opened it up for chats, for talks, or whatever. And I want to see if I can say something here. As you come join in and tell your story. Okay, let's see. Send it out. Now, I don't worry about looks. Looks don't mean nothing to me. I don't worry about popularity. Sometimes what you're doing by telling a story can be very therapeutic. If you're sitting at home right now and you kind of click over onto this, and you say, well, I've got all these tales and stuff inside me. Maybe I like to tell the tale. Sometimes people come to me and they think because I'm a man that I want to see all these crazy little things with women from foreign places doing this and doing that, or men doing this and doing that. I don't want to see that. That doesn't make any difference to me. And I just blow that off. What I want to hear are people that like to tell stories. Now, I like photographs because for each photograph tells a tale, tells a story. Some of my friends in the photography world that are really good, that photograph tells a story just by themselves. The simple raindrop, or simple shining of the sun, or simple uh, leaf rustling, simple little things, smoking on a mountain, and stuff like that, tells a story. And each picture is totally different than the other one. And I love these because in my head, I can tell a story to each and every one. And anything that can create a story in my life, that's what I want to hear. Sometimes in the earlier years of a radio, that's what people would do. They would gather around the radio and they would listen to people tell stories across. This is before there was television. People would gather around the radio and listen to these tales. And the stories, these elaborate ones, they would have all type of sound effects and stuff like that coming across. It's sort of like the days out of Bobby, where you got little short stories. Each storyline lasts about 4 to 5 minutes at the longest, and the punchlines come about every 30 seconds apart. And sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not, but they all do the same thing. They have what's called a roller coaster effect. It kind of builds you up and drops you down, builds you up and drops you down. And usually when you get to the peak, you want to see it. And you don't want to fall as far before you climb up again till you get at a highest peak, and then you get surprised. That's not the art of storytelling. Now, there's lots of little libraries, big libraries, but lots of little libraries that have what's called children's reading hour, where people come in and they read storybooks to children. And that's the way of getting the library, get the children interested in reading, just by having people tell the stories with books. And they use the books because the libraries want to get children interested in reading, but also because they can kind of scrupularize, kind of screen out what storytellers going to tell. But every once in a while, they'll get a true storyteller in there. And there won't be any book to show them. Instead, they'll come in, they'll either draw it out, or they'll sing it out, or they'll play it out different ways. I did that for a group of kids. I went to tell a group of kids about the different type of sounds throughout the world, and I went in there and gave them a little story, played a little guitar, things from around the world and everything, so they would know about it. But that was storytelling to me, and the kids they all enjoyed it. I don't know if the teacher did or not, but either way, I did it. I know there's people out there, they have their stories, come and join me. I know that you like to do that. And right now, I'm exploring different things about this because I don't know what I can. And got my day's date and all like that in there. I wish that I could pull up other things going on in it. Got custom emojis and stuff like that. Anyway, just about storytelling. I want you to come and join me. I can send feedback. Okay. And I'm on a picture, and I'm not sure what I can do here. I don't know if I can add things or not. I might get me cut off. Let's see what happens. I don't want to end this. I don't want to edit this or anything like that. There's just so much that I can do here. I guess if I wanted to, I could add some music to this from Amazon or YouTube Music Studio. I like to use generic sounds and stuff like that that I record. That I know they're my recording. Sometimes there's little music and stuff like that. I know that it's free music from YouTube that I record and play back. But if you like to tell stories, come on, talk to me. I know there's got to be some people out there that like to hear stories, like to hear things, like to see things. And I hope this is being shared with you with Twitter. Let's see what this says. Oh, let's go to share Twitter. Let's see if it's going to pull a. Let's see if I get anybody coming in. Okay, let's see. Go back to you. Who else can I get on? Uh, well, I don't see anybody else I can share with. Oh, I don't know what to think about all this. All right, play around with my microphone. Well, I think that you hear me all right. Let's see what happens if I click on my link. By the way, I guess I'm going to end this. I said I'd give it about 20, 30 minutes, and we're about halfway in between there. Nobody joined me, so I'm going to end this. Y'all have a good evening. Bye bye bye.